Afternoon everybody, thank you for coming to take a look at what I've been making. This is my design team project for Mrs Cogs. I've used a couple of her kits. I've used Squirrel Nutkin and I've also used her kit Squirrels, so there's quite a few images in here. This is a repurposed book, so it is one of Beatrix Potter's Squirrel Nutkin books. So it measures approximately 4 inches wide and just over 5.5 wide. I've added an extra spine to it, increased the spine, and that's a 2.5 inch spine that's on there. And the fabric that I've put on there is a batik fabric, and I don't know if you can see, but there's little owl faces on there. So those of you that know the story of Squirrel Nutkin will understand why I've used the owl fabric. And the tassel that I've done, to me it looked like a squirrel's tail, and again, if you know the story of Squirrel Nutkin, you'll know all about Squirrel Nutkin's tail. So there's the tassel on the back there. The tassel does come off. It's on a little catch. I don't know what they're called, crab claw, lobster claw, and there are also some beads on there as well, a little leaf. The journal is held together with some organza ribbon, and that ribbon has little dragonflies on. So I've tried to incorporate things in here that you might find in the woodlands. There are 4 signatures, so it's quite chunky, and I think there's around 208 pages front and back. So as you can see, it's quite a chunky journal. Lots of tabs on the edges, and there's some ribbon there as well. So moving inside. The inside there is some Squirrel Nutkin coloured batik fabric that I had, and some ribbon with the flowers. And these papers that I've used at the front of the signatures are from AOZ, some collage papers that she has, and there are I think they're her hand painted images on there. And again, they just went so well with the woodland theme that I really enjoyed using them. So on the inside, that flaps out. You see that? And there's a little tuck spot there. And there's a little stamp, Peter Rabbit stamp on that library card. I think that flaps up as well, so there's a little writing space there. The papers, I tried to use greens and browns for the forest, so there's a little collage there of some probably apple blossom and a little bit of dictionary page there. A little bit of stamping. The book is all in here, so as I say, it's a repurposed book, so the story is complete and the pages are in order. And it took me ages to figure it out, but I did eventually do it. There's a crocheted tab there, and then this is a piece of that owl batik fabric that I've got. I had just little strips of it left. It's fabric that I've hoarded and loved for a long time. So there's the owl, so that's old brown. And there's one of these, I think, are Mrs Cogs images, so images there of the squirrels. I'm not sure where that one's from. Some coffee dyed paper there. A little butterfly. And here's the front of the book. And that actually is a pocket, so there's a tag in there. This tag is actually from Arty from her, it's one of her tag kits. I forget the name of it, but I will put a link in it below. Fiddly getting it in, sorry. There we go, so there's Squirrel Nutkin, looking very innocent just there. Some snip there of some ivy, and again some dictionary page. And there's one of Mrs Cogs images there of the Squirrel Nutkin collecting nuts, and there's a little red squirrel. I didn't know, actually, looking at Mrs Cogs' squirrel kit, I didn't know there were so many types of squirrels in the world, but you learn something new. And there's that same image there of the squirrels collecting nuts. That's a print out, Roxy's Creations, that one's from. So I've got bits of fluff everywhere. Some stamping. Some ribbon down the edge there. And then this is a pocket just here. Again, this is Aose's papers that were left over, and just some extra journaling space there. So there's lots of room in this journal to write. And then the centre of the signature, little tuck spot there. Another of the little images from Mrs Cogs. And then there's a card at the back there. And there's old Brown sitting on his doorstep, quite still with his eyes closed, as if nothing had happened. So there's a lot going on. Some fabric there that I had with beetles on. So the squirrels were trying to bring some food to Mr. Old Brown. So I've tried to incorporate things all the way through the book associated with it. And there's Old Brown. And squirrels. That's just a pocket, it doesn't flap up. And again, the doily there, that's a print. Pocket there. Some images of Mrs Tiggy Winkle, and again one of Mrs Cogs' squirrels. Tucked in there. Butterfly. One of the tags from Arty, and I will put the link below. Another squirrel. Oh, sorry, there's another tag just there with another of the cards in. Little envelope here. And a journaling card at the back there. And again, the squirrels there from Mrs Cogs. Some of the images I shrank because with it being a small book, the full size images were too big. This fabric has little snails on. There's Old Brown. This paper, it's like tracing paper, but it's actually the backing to the Bonder web that you use with to adhere fabric to itself. There's a large journaling card just there, on there, with another of the images from Mrs Cogs. Oh, that is the back of the page. And again, Aose's papers there. Beautiful papers. Little tuck spot there. Again, one of the images from Mrs Cogs there on an old library card. And there, the beetle fabric that I've got, just to show all the different things that the squirrels bought for Old Brown to eat. And then again, another printout from Roxy's Creations. This is an old embroidered mat that I've cut into 4 to use as pockets. Little pocket there. Again, I've tried to use the greens and the browns on the papers. Another little tuck spot there with the image from Mrs Cogs. Trying to feed Old Brown. I think they're trying to tempt him, or to bribe him. There's an image there of Beatrix Potter. A tuck spot there on that bag, and also a tuck spot in there. Some journaling paper there. So it is a large book, and as I say, the story is intact. And again, another piece of that. Does look like Old Brown, doesn't he? A little pocket just there with the beetle fabric on. A tab on there. Some more squirrels. I think they're flying squirrels. And another of the journaling, extra journaling space there. And it says there, the other squirrels scuttered away into the bushes. I think they were frightened of Old Brown. He had a bit of a reputation. There's another card in that top pocket there. Another journaling space just there. The back of the bag there. There's a little tuck spot on there as well. I will put a card in there. This is the actual cover of the book that I used. So I've made that into a journaling tuck spot behind there. And another image from Mrs Cogs. There's a drawing of Jemima Puddle Duck in that pocket, and that is just a pocket, it's not a flip up. Again, the back of the doily from Roxy's Creations. This fabric has little tiny beetles on it. So again, trying to show what they bought for the owl. There's a book cover, Squirrel Nutkin, and some more images there of the squirrels taking food for Old Brown. A butterfly up there. And that flaps out for extra journaling space. And again, there's an image there of Beatrix Potter. Again, Aose's papers. There's a tuck spot back there. Another library card with an image of the squirrels on it. A leaf and some dictionary page there. Squirrels fishing. Another tuck spot there with another journaling card on. Another image from Mrs Cogs on there. I say the story runs all the way through. They are lovely images of Beatrix Potter that she does. So much detail in it when you look closely. Another tuck spot behind there with a little envelope. There's nothing in these envelopes, but you could put something in if you wanted to. And again, one of the images from Mrs Cogs there. And the squirrels. Another image of Beatrix Potter as a child, or when she was younger. And that's another pocket up there. And these are from Arty as well. It's the same kit. You get the tags and you get the cards. I will write below what it is because it just slipped out my mind. Another image there of some squirrels in that pocket. And it says on there from the story, but Nutkin was in his waistcoat pocket. So, doesn't sound good for Squirrel Nutkin. Another tuck spot there. Some more squirrels. Another card there. And they came back very cautiously, peeping round the tree. And they do look rather cheeky, don't they? Another bit of the beetle fabric up there. Another image there from Mrs Cogs' kit. And that one, little tuck spot. The squirrels with the nuts. Look at the cheeky faces. Another journaling card there with that same image on. Another leaf up there. Another tuck spot here. Some journaling cards. Another of the large cards in there with another of the images from Mrs Cogs. Another little tuck spot just there. That one does flap up. So there's lots of space, as I say, to journal. And then the last signature. Some fabric there with rabbits and badgers on. Little card. Another of the images there. One of the larger journaling cards. Some berries. Another tuck spot here. Put that one in that blank space. And then all of us at once, there was a flutterment and a scufflement and a loud squeak. Another tuck spot here. And in the bag. Some more of the coffee dyed paper. Butterflies. Mr Brown. with some eggs this time. Squirrel Nutkin. Another tuck spot there. Another of the images on there. And that's the part of the story. And all at once there was a flutterment and a scufflement and a loud squeak. The other squirrels scattered away in the bushes. Another tuck spot just there. I don't want to give any spoilers away as to what happens to Squirrel Nutkin. Another of the journaling pads there. Another of the small beetle fabric there. Another tuck spot. On the back there's a little squirrel. Some more squirrels. Lots of squirrels. Squirrel Nutkin was in his waistcoat pocket. Uh-oh. This looks like the end of the story, but it isn't. Another journaling card there. I do like Beatrix Potter stories. They don't always end well. Another tuck spot there with images. And there, a little owl peeking out of his hole. And there's a picture of Old Brown holding on to Squirrel Nutkin. Runs Squirrel Nutkin away, but missing his tail. And here it is. Poor Squirrel Nutkin. So there he is, tailless. The other squirrels look a little bit bothered or happy that it wasn't them. Another little tuck spot there. One just there in the bag. And another tuck spot just there. There we go. And then you see that one on there. And the little mouse. So that's my Squirrel Nutkin book. There you can see the owls a little bit better there when the tail's not on. It is a full journal. I think you can see 208 pages. That is a lot for a little book, but it does lay flat. It opens up very nicely. So I hope you like it. I have got plans to make some more of these books. I have got Peter Rabbit and Mrs Tiggy Winkle and a few others, so I will be making some more. But I do hope that you've enjoyed looking at Squirrel Nutkin. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. Bye.